it looks good in the crypto market today. All of a sudden, you have volume coming back and you have prices taking off, the breakouts happening in Ether or small caps, whichever you're looking at, you're getting something similar. And that's an interesting pattern which you should pay attention to, because you should not be missing out when the price shows you this pattern. Say, especially when Ether shows something like this and confirms that breakout, it leads to something. And that's why we are watching even XRP is holding on to such a structure, but we didn't get the breakout yet. But for sure, the altcoin market was pushing higher, so the Bitcoin dominance dropped a little. That gives us certain ideas about what it is doing. But what we would like to see is a bounce here, which would validate this trend line. If it breaks to the downside, it's all of a sudden, all the altcoins run crazy and you get to see a lot more action in the market. Now you're watching some of these running up for sure, but then you will see a lot more of these running up on all of a sudden, and you don't want to miss it. So for us, the best option here is that the Bitcoin dominance bounce back, Bitcoin go up to a new local high and then correct back down, allowing that money transfer into the altcoins. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. If you have discipline, if you have patience to ride through this, then this is the best place to be, where you get all of these. Say this is one asset. Jan 4th, I was talking about a drop for you guys to buy because there is going to be a bounce. What happened afterwards? The price did drop close to 9.5. I was looking at 10. It went even lower. So it doesn't matter. You got better opportunity. And then it bounced off. Now the price is close to this level. So if you were in the SI family, this was the opportunity. And you also saw the calls of shout outs on how these assets are doing. Because once you understand these opportunities, you don't want to miss out. This is one of the recent stuff. I discussed this in the YouTube too. We talked about the possibility of Ether starting to move higher. This was just last couple of videos. We had lower views than usual. So I understand very few are benefiting from this move in the market. For others, this is all of a sudden. Why is these coins moving? All of a sudden. That's the thought process. But if you do understand this, you're not confused, you're not stressed. In the SI family, they're not stressed. Why? Because this thought process was shared clearly a week back. I told, watch, we're going to go back up. This is going to be something to look for. We came to that range. Then you may come back down. Don't panic. There can be a lot of wicks like this. If that's the exact scenario playing out, or something similar, look at the volatility range here. Look at the volatility range here. So this was all shared in the SI family so that they are prepared. At the local bottom recently, we literally talked to you guys through this, and SI family got the benefit of me following it up there. But now where are we? The price is still here. Think about that. Now the market is volatile. Now Bitcoin is correcting and still the price is $71,000. Few days back, it came down to 65. So the thought process of you making money consistently is here and it's there. It's going to be there. If you are patient enough, you're looking at something like this. If you have the discipline to ride this, you're looking at something perfect. But if you don't have the patience, that's going to be hard because this didn't happen in a day. It took 5 months till this point. Now, this is the latest update, which I just added today. But this map of the P&L which they give me, the chart, is 24 hours back. So we didn't get all the recent move to the upside here. If we do, most likely we are trying to break this pattern to the upside just in the portfolio allocation side. Remember, last time that happened here, we saw the price moving further with volume. Now, why is that happening? Because we are able to find these trades at the right time, in the right assets. Some of them are 5x, some of them are 4x, some of them are very little risk. So you're watching a high risk movement, you're watching a low risk movement, because we have close to 1,200 members. We have a wide variety of individuals. Some of them are risk seeking, some of them are risk averse. So I'm trying to cater to all of you guys by having two different trade backs. One, my personal style, low risk, better risk, adjusted rewards. Next is the higher level of risk. Now, I don't look for, 7, 10, 20, 50x leverage. That's too high risk for me. So if you are looking to get something like this to see your portfolio growing consistently, then I would argue SI family is the best place in the market right now to be in. Because if this thought process which I shared here, which is active now, is playing out, then how long do you have? So you just write on to the recent fluctuation. Say you take ETH. You go on a daily, you go on a 3-day, whichever chart you would like. What you should be noting is where exactly the price is reversing, because that's a lot of important factors aligning. MACD crossing to the upside. Okay, last time we had that here. RSI showing you a reversal and a breakout. RSI showing you a reversal and a breakout. Price moving above the 21-day moving average. Price moving above the 21-day moving average. And initially you're still below that trend line, the local resistance. Then you come up to that resistance, which here would be close to the local highs, which we made around 4,000, and then a choppy ride to the upside. Now, this is a 30 days horizon which you're looking at, say 34, 35 days till the top. That means if we have something similar coming in, don't miss out on that. Because last time when Ether did this in Feb, remember that run up in Ether was just 75%. Just 75% fluctuation in Ether. Now you go on, take some of these alts. During that Feb ride up, how much did they do? A 300% move. So say you put that on a daily, you want to get the timing as accurate as possible, you look for the breakout of the moving average. It went up. Great. So even if you miss the top and the bottom, say you didn't get the wick, great. That's still 200% move when Ether just did an 80% move. So if Ether is going to do something similar next time, you're going to see a lot more assets doing something like this. Participate in those. It allows you to generate capital. It allows you to look for things on the right end. Because in this market, you're watching a lot of volatility on the fundamental side and the technical side. That, in my opinion, is important. Because then when you actually look at this and put the argument like, okay, we had the thought process, we are looking for such volatility, and Bitcoin should do these volatility. When altcoins are running up and Bitcoin is struggling to go up, it should drop. That's how they try to push fear, panic into the crypto market, because they don't like altcoins taking off, stealing the show. If alts are starting to do 100%, 200% move, all of a sudden, that means Bitcoin is now not getting the media attention. If Ether breaks $5,000, the talk is about Ether because Bitcoin is still down. At that time, if Bitcoin touches 80,000, okay, that's not bad. But you have to understand, fluctuations like this in the market is something which you should worry about. What you should be looking at is the direction. If you're interested in the price action, yeah, great, cool. But actually take the range. This was the previous resistance, support. You extend that here. Now, where are you? You're above that range, which is great. Price is above the moving average, which is perfect. The momentum is on your side. Whether you're a micro trader, whether you're a macro trader, this is where you want to be in the market. Price coming back down to the moving average, bouncing off from that level. When you will watch the daily entering the overbought territory, you will see a lot more momentum in the price action. When you see the same happening in the 3-day, you will see a lot more in momentum. When you see the weekly, which is already on there, is just starting to bounce back into that range. What happened last time? The acceleration to the upside was huge. So at this point, you're just looking at this and different large cap alts, whether it's Cardano, whether it's XRP, and you're like, okay, Bitcoin is dropping close to 1%. Even XRP is just 0.3%. That in itself shows there is something happening. Like ETH went up like 7%, Bitcoin went up 2%. Now it's down. So if you look at the overall structure here for the last 24 hours to understand where exactly the market is, this is what Ether looks like. The moment you actually take Bitcoin into the same equation, you are like, whoa, Bitcoin didn't do much. But on a pattern side of it, you should keep this in your mind. We had this thought process shared earlier. We had the breakout. It's great. For us to see a continuation pattern, we want this kind of a bounce off. Because if you do break this to the downside, now the argument which we put in earlier, this kind of a move will still be there. So this can be a fake out and then go back up. But all of that, we are looking in like 2-3 weeks, not like, months to come, because this is a 4-hour chart on which we are discussing. When you zoom out and you enter onto a weekly chart, you're like, whoa. We had this thought process shared clearly. Those who are positioned well enough to take this 50 to 70 days run up in altcoin terms, you are lucky enough. Or you took your time to research, you took your time to learn and execute. Now you're entering that phase where you're watching your portfolio growing, where you're watching your trades doing well. So at that time, you don't want to cut off your discipline. At that point, you really don't want to lose patience. Because if you go on a short-term chart, this is why I say discipline is super important. When you enter in short-term charts, you'll see some volatility and you're confused. Whoa, what should I do? That's why I always say go on a 3-day chart. If you're a macro guy, a spot rider, put this on a Hiknashi. Great, just ride it. When it is green, don't think about anything. If it's like, okay, I don't want to be that long, go on a daily chart. Put it on a Hiknashi. When it is breaking above the moving average and it is green, don't be confused. Just ride it. Even on a daily, you get to see a couple of fake outs. But still, the next day you're back in the market. Why? Because it closed back in green. So you're able to ride these without much of a volatility. Say you don't want that. Go on to a Ranko chart. It kind of gives you a clear idea which direction you're going. Even before the current candle is closed, it shows you where it's going next. It's not the dark green, it's the light green, showing the possibility of the price going back up. So when you were trending higher last time and started bouncing like this, what followed? So depending on what type of trader you are, there are wide variety of tools available in the market to use it, to stay above that 90%. 10% make money, 90% lose money in this market. So if you're able to grasp that, and now everyone has the same strategy or almost close to it. What matters to get these results, which I believe, is the execution of it. If your emotions interfere a lot more, you are not watching any of these, right? And once your emotion is stable, then try increasing your leverage. Maybe it's fine. And that's exactly what we're doing, but in a separate bag. so that all that we have made here, the 20x, it's not spoiled. And we only want another 5, 6x there. We had 100x. That's perfect for me. For some, it's still small gains, but for me, that's a huge move. And the thousands of individuals who are following me, I believe most of them believe it's a life-changing move. So if you want to participate in these kind of calls to take benefit of what's happening, use the link in the description below to reach me. It's in the description in YouTube and on the bio on Twitter. And I actually wanted to highlight the fact that earlier today we had a session. We had a live session with 68J, right? Crypto for Life. If you haven't watched that and you have some time, that's a long one, 1.5 hours. If you want to scroll through, watch here and there, listen to different questions, which was all interesting. And I tried to answer them based on my knowledge, my thought process, as honest as possible, and share it over there. So if you'd like to take time to look at a lot of different questions, mostly based on XRP and the crypto market in general, then look through this. You're going to get some value out there. But yes, you need time. It's a long video. So guys, if you received value, smash that like button. If you haven't done that already, consider doing that. It supports the channel and the spread of this message a lot more. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.